It's 6:30. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and thank you for joining this month's call. Please include some of the dinging you'll hear for people who might be joining us late. I'm Thomas Kuster. I'm the author and presenter of The Stages of Love. This is the year that we're focused on creating the next best version of ourselves, the next best version of our couples, and the next best version of our lives. Tonight, we'll engage in a conversation around the core competency, adaptability. I'm going to mute everybody here. Give me a second.
You are now muted.
The core competency, adaptability. Now, this is a core competency for accomplishing big goals. It's a core competency for creating relationships that are extraordinary over time. So it leads us to the question, what is adaptability? The dictionary says that adaptability is the ability to change in order to fit changing circumstances, to adapt, to be flexible, flexibility, to be pliable, pliability, fundamentally able. So let me ask you a question. How adaptable are you to changing circumstances as it pertains to reaching your goals? I'm talking about the kind of change that is adaptability as it pertains to staying in your game. Whatever your game might be. For couples, the game might be an extraordinary relationship with peace and harmony. Some of us are going after big accomplishments in our life. Changing in accordance to your environment and to the primary needs of you, and by you, I mean your true, capital S self, the true self, the authentic you, the seat of consciousness, who you are, the part of you that has all the qualities of a natural leader. It's the place from which we watch, experience, and be with the parts of our personality, as well as with other people, in an easy and relaxed way. To accomplish anything worthwhile, to have and maintain extraordinary relationships will require that you and I get aligned with who we really are. True self-leadership. And true, capital self-leadership is recognized by the following qualities. I call them the 7 C's. Calmness, curiosity, connectedness, confidence, creativity, courage, and clarity. So let's examine adaptability within the context of the work that we're doing. First, there is a natural kind of adaptation. An adaptability that happens just because of the organism that we are. Such as, example, people who visit or live at high altitudes undergo physiological changes, adaptations, to adjust to the low oxygen environment. The body compensates for the drop in oxygen by speeding up the oxygenation process. Looks like this. We breathe at a faster rate, our heart speeds up, and we pump, and it pumps more strongly. Now, over a period of time, you stay in that environment, the body adapts to the change in attitude, and the heart output and the ventilation rate return to normal. But the red blood cell count continues to stay high in order to be healthy and live in that environment. So physically, we adapt to our environment, at least to the degree that we're able. Some of the most interesting cases of adaptation occur when two species evolve together so that they each benefit the other. I found that to be fascinating. These adaptations that I just referred to require little or nothing from you and me. The results and the benefits are kind of automatic, and in some cases they take more time than you and I have that we'll ever see them, as in evolution. But there are other adaptations that happen pretty fast. Like I had shared with some of you about my trigger thumb. And if anybody's ever had trigger finger or trigger thumb, it hurts like the devil. And what happened was I naturally adapted, right? I started using my four fingers in ways I hadn't used them before, and the thumb stayed out of the way. Well, it wasn't long when the thumb healed, I started using the thumb again but didn't know it because I naturally adapted to the thumb being usable. You know, if you have a backache and it hurts a long time, you'll find yourself walking a different way. And if they have a neck pain, you'll find yourself leaning a different way. We adjust or adapt designed to avoid as much pain as possible. Can you see that? You're avoiding as much pain as possible. And you and the body work together to do that. Now, I want you to notice in your partnerships, your relationships, in the game that you've taken on, whatever it is you're out to accomplish, I would like for you to notice how you might be adapting to avoid pain in reaching those accomplishments, goals, or building those extraordinary relationships. See, that kind of pain, in most cases, is incredibly important to our growth, development, and our achievement. That's the adaptability that I'm referring to here. It's distinct from the automatic. It's distinct from the natural progression of the organism that we are. In fact, if you notice, adjusting to avoid pain when it comes to your game or to your important relationships will certainly not lead to the ultimate outcome that you're after. What I mean here is adaptation, like a plane adapting to flight conditions for adjusting on course. This adaptation involves on-purpose consciousness. If the plane doesn't adjust course, adapt to the environment, then it cannot get us to the destination. Same goes for you. When you set out on the voyage after your goal, after what you're out to accomplish, after the amazing relationship, the terrain, if you will, seems, keyword, seems a particular way. However, rarely does what it seems ever really stay that way or pan out to actually be what's so. Interesting, huh? Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask to hear from a couple of you regarding goals or projects or love life where this seemed to be the case for you. I'm going to ask you what you saw and what happened and what you did. And I'll give you an example of my own first, but I'll refer back that the adaptation we're looking at involves an on-purpose consciousness. And what I'm asking you to look at are times when you've been out to accomplish something and it seemed like everything was set. And you started, you got out there, and then all of a sudden, what seemed to be wasn't. And it required either an adaptation or maybe a quitting. So let me tell you mine, and then I'm going to open the floor and hear from one or two of you. So as anybody on this call knows, or probably knows, I sent out a video invitation for this call. Now, it's one of a few videos that I've done over time. You know, I'm trying to upgrade the way I communicate with my audience. I was excited. I set myself up, slicked my hair all backing up, changed my clothes a few times, just did the right, you get the picture, right? Meanwhile, I hear back from folks things that I should have done, ought to done, what was missing, various criticisms. Now, let me be very clear here. I am open to feedback, okay? But there was something I had to deal with, right? I had to deal with a part of me saying, oh, screw it. I've got enough to manage to try to now be the video king. I don't know. Darn. Keeping my coaching skills up to par and competitive is probably more important than my video message. So maybe I should just focus on that and give this up. And that same part had a lot of other stuff to say to me, okay? Like criticizing me. I call it my failure part. Like, oh, woe is me. Oh, why did I do this? That part didn't expect the feedback it got. In fact, you guys, it expected some rave reviews, right? But that part ended up not being very happy. Now listen to this. After 15 takes, 3 costume changes, moving from one room to another, changing the background as many times as I could figure out a way to do a background, all for a 2-minute video. Which, by the way, mostly didn't even get opened. That was another hit, right? See, when I designed it, I assumed everybody would watch it and everybody would love it. That was the assumption. That was the terrain, if you will, what it seemed like I was walking into. Now, how many of you know what I'm talking about? Expectations you have, they're not met. Or what I like to call a new distinction, unexpected occurrences. And downloading that stupid video took almost 3 hours because I'm such an amateur. Think about that. Exactly. Now listen, there was another part of me talking at the same time, and it said, okay, Kuster, chin up. Take the coaching. Take the constructive criticism. Grow at your own pace. No quitting. This technology, it's necessary. It's necessary to be who you intend to be, and it's necessary to complement who you are now. And it's also necessary to expose the weak areas that you are and what you have so that you can develop yourself to accomplish what you're out to accomplish. Growth is winning. Being coachable is winning. Playing the game and adapting is winning. I made that voice louder than the other. Adaptation at play. Now, I'm sure any of you could hear that it could have easily gone the other way. In my past, it may have gone another way. Now I want you to take a look. What about you? Share something. What are you present to?
You are now unmuted.
Please, just whatever you're present to, whatever you'd like to share, anything you see for yourself. Somebody, just say your first name and I'll call on you.
Joanne.
Thank you, Joanne.
So I've taken on being sugar-free, and I'm on day 15 of no sugar. And it's kind of interesting because I got cranky at the beginning, fussy. And what I did is I was having to adapt to not being able to go to a chocolate bar when I was hungry instead of making something. But I was also having to adapt to, I don't even know where sugar is hiding sometimes. And I'm amazed. I found this program online that I actually can look in. Blueberries. Is there any fat in that? Is there any sugar? I'm amazed that there's fat in Brussels sprouts. I've never expected that. So I'm actually looking up everything before I eat it, like, do I want that? Do I not want this?
Yeah, right.
And it's
very good.
I'm having to adapt that I don't go to what I used to go to and doing the work to what am I going to next.
Yeah, very good, Joanne. That's awesome. So you could say, if we look at it from a parts point of view, you could say a part of you got cranky in the beginning because it couldn't have what it wanted, perhaps. Yeah, and at the same time, though, there was another part of you that said, hey, this is my game. I'm doing it for me. I'm not being punished. There's nobody punishing me saying I can't have what I want. This is my game. So really good job. Great. Congratulations on 15 days.
I wanted to just mention it. What I gave myself permission is I can have sugar anytime I want to. This is just a choice I'm making. So that gave me some freedom to play. And I also took on that this is a game that I'm up to and that I'm up to it. Instead of like, I don't have to give into old behaviors.
Very good. And keep breaking it down into parts, okay? See, as long as you imagine there's parts of your personality and only one part is fighting you, it feels like everybody. You know, it feels like you're having a fight that's all by yourself. But if you really start to play the parts game and you say, you know, a part of me is having a hard time with this, but there's another part of me that knows I can do anything I want to do. There's a part of me that says X while another part of me says Z. You follow? And what I share with my clients is I say, imagine you have a dozen eggs in your brain, okay? And each egg represents a part. And when something comes up for you, good, bad, or indifferent, you know, you're not just doing this for when you have challenges. You do it all for everything. Then you notice only one part out of the 12 is saying that. The other 11 could have something else to say, and you could check in. And that gives you a lot of power.
Yes.
Yeah, Joanne, thanks. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it.
You are now muted.
So you might have a dream. You might have a goal just like Joanne's, just like mine, something you want to accomplish as you journey through this life. You and your other half, if you're in a relationship or a couple, you may have a dream. What's that dream? What do you want to accomplish? You know, a common dream for a couple is happily ever after. A common dream for a couple is peace and harmony. What if you had the capacity to adapt to your partner so that each of you benefits the other? What if that adaptation happened naturally for you? It's been discovered that a loving couple contributes to the overall health of the other. Maintaining a healthy, loving relationship promotes better heart and longer life. Growth and development is the key to satisfaction and fulfillment, and we all long for it, don't we? So the journey for the goal, the journey for happily ever after, the journey for the accomplishment, for the most part, starts off pretty well. They were off and going, and then what? Something unexpected happens. Unexpected occurrences. And another distinction, there are unexamined assumptions. So now you have unexpected occurrences and unexamined assumptions at play. Our unexamined occurrences and our unexamined assumptions, I don't know if I said that right, our unexpected occurrences and our unexamined assumptions, these can undermine what you really want. So we need a new view, a new kind of adaptation. It's necessary for the highest quality relationship and the highest quality life. Presuming that you still want the goal, presuming that you're still after the accomplishment, presuming that the couple is still interested in happily ever after, peace and harmony, you know, I could ask you to adapt to all of it, to all the unexpected occurrences and all the unexamined assumptions. And in one sense, you guys, I am. While I'm also saying that one has to be conscious to what's good for the whole. A psychological divorce, let's say, in a relationship will create more harm than good. That kind of adaptation, sticking it out when it's definitely not good for you, works against you, not for you. That wouldn't be good, and that would certainly be inconsistent with being extraordinarily conscious. So being able to discern the salvageable from the not is incredibly powerful. Now, quickly, we're going to glance at the other core competencies that we've outlined. There's 3 of them, and then you'll see how adaptability as a distinction begins to fit in. Those core competencies are self-awareness, self-discipline, and then discernment. And I'm taking the case, and I want you to take the case and look from being somebody who has practiced these core competencies at a high level, especially discernment. You know, you're practicing discerning true self from false self-dominance. You're practicing discerning true love from counterfeit. And you're practicing energy-renewing emotions from energy-depleting emotions. And if you look from that person, consider this new core competency in action. Adaptability. Look at these unexpected occurrences with me. Think them through over there where you are with me. Unexpected occurrences like an unexpected child, yours or even a grandchild, unplanned, unexpected. Unexpected job loss, yours, your spouse's, or perhaps a loved one that impacts your relationship and financial well-being. An unexpected affair, yours or your partner's. And there's many ways one might react or deal with an event like that one. And here's the fact. The incident itself changes everything. But many couples tell me stories of how they continued the couple as it was, pretending it's still the same, not dealing with head-on the consequence of the betrayal. And there's a cost of that. Then there's unexpected health concerns. How do you adapt to that? Unexpected loss of physical interest, intimacy. How do you adapt to that? An unexpected live-in. Maybe your brother-in-law becomes homeless and you take him in, or an unexpected grandkid becomes your responsibility. How do you adapt to that? You and I deal with the unexpected occurrences constantly. Let a few of yours come to mind. A little later, you'll have an opportunity to share. So note a few if you see them that you might want to put into space. Now, in my practice, what I hear the loudest is resistance. See, you and I, we resist what's so. We resist what's happening. Is there any benefit in resisting? None. Are there costs? Yes. Whenever you resist, it's energy depleting. It's also false self-dominating. And that leads to emotional bruises getting activated, which then leads to distorted reality. So then decisions are made based on illusion and fantasy. Reality goes right out the window. I'm sure there are many unexpected occurrences that you could see. But now let's just take a look at unexamined assumptions. You know, we're considering a partnership in this case, but apply it to whatever your goal is or your game. I assume you'll be there for me no matter what. I assume your words are a clear reflection of your inner thoughts. I assume you say exactly what you mean and what you want. I assume that I'm the only one who deals with doubt. I assume you want what's best for me. I assume. So how does adaptation as a distinction impact assumptions? Consider the simplicity of this. All assumptions get examined. If you're an individual, then you should have either a accomplishment partner that's supporting you and you're supporting them in reaching your goals, and you'll have a tune-up meeting, which I'll distinguish here in a second. Or if you're a couple, I recommend that you do what I call the couples tune-up. It's a copywritten practice from the stages of love, whereby the couple, and now if you're an individual with an accomplishment or goal, listen to this tune-up as yours with the partner that you work with. This is a weekly management meeting. For the couple, it's a relationship management meeting. For the accomplishments, it's an accomplishment management meeting. And the structure, it has structure, and it deals with respect as it goes after regrets, resentments, acknowledgments, and addressing unexamined assumptions. Anybody on this call who has worked with me and worked on unexamined assumptions knows that as simple as it sounds, for some reason, they don't come up right away. So every week you'll see something you didn't see before. And every week you'll get re-enrolled in what you want. These tune-ups are extraordinarily powerful, and mostly people don't do them. For couples, date night, extremely important, and mostly couples don't do them. You put those two in, if your couple has a range of 1 to 10, 10 being extraordinary, 1 being terrible, and you're at a 3 or a 4, put those two things in, you could at least get it to a 7 or an 8. So adaptation in the context of a distinction is this and only this. Giving your capital S self fully to the moment. That's number 1. Giving your true self fully to the moment. Number 2, adjusting quickly, timelessly to what's happening now. Number 3, sustaining energy, renewing emotions. And number 4, being 100% responsible. This is a complete shift to what's automatic. It's the only way to maintain a clear view of what you're creating. This distinction includes every possible choice or option that's available. It in no way is intended to limit you to one outcome or one course of action. So said in one simple line or one practice for you to take away is give up resisting what's happening. What's so is what's so for now. And that leaves you with now what? A self, capital S, self-directed now what?
You are now unmuted.
So I've unmuted the line. Is there anything that anybody would like to put in? Anything you want to share from anything I've covered since the last opportunity? Okay. Well, with that,
you are now muted.
Next month's call is June 18th, 6:30. That's the third Thursday of every month. And we're going to distinguish the next core competency in creating the next best version of yourself. Please, for those of you close enough to Sacramento, on July 9th, we will have a live event called the Stages of Love. What we'll create for you is the 7 stages of self-love, the 7 stages of romantic love, and the 7 stages of accomplishment. The evening will be extraordinary and amazing. You will leave knowing the stage of self-love you are in and the stage you're in if you're a couple. You'll also be very clear on getting to the end result of a goal you're after, accomplishment. Thank you very, very much for taking the time to be on this call with me. I appreciate you, respect you, and honor you, and I hope to be with you next month. Good night.